it does the job. Right, guys, we're going to get into it and make sure my alerts are off. So I'm going to do exclamation wreck. I'm going to pin that to the top chat because I feel really bad when people like try and jump scare me and stuff and my alerts are off. I've been doing it recently just to make sure that like my VODs aren't impacted by sort of any issues, like no copyright music or anything. But yeah, the Sims Glasgow edition, if only they actually had that, that'd be kind of crazy, to be honest. I would play that, to be honest. I would heckin' play that. Oh god, the game's like lagging. Oh my god, can you hear that, chat? Oh no. Why is it doing that? Why are you bugging? Why are you bugging for? Oh god, the game's definitely not working. The game is not working. Oh god, everything's going really slow. I'm gonna close the game and start over. Hi Richard, how are you? Yeah, the game is like actually I'm reopening it, guys. I really hope that, I don't know, I kind of hope that GLaDOS becomes like good at the end. Like I really hope so. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Something tells me it's not gonna happen. Okay, let's try that again, chat. I don't know why it was being funny, but it's like, what? No, it's definitely still lagging. Game? What the hell? Maybe it's my ping trooper that it doesn't like, but you would think that the ping trooper is like way less effort than a camera, surely? You would think anyway. Strange. Okay, I'm hoping it doesn't continue lagging. I'm not getting any like frame drops like on my side. I can just see on OBS that it's bugging. You can let me know how it looks for you guys. It looks okay to me for now, I think. I just keep looking at my little ping tuber and I'm like, okay, it's moving. And behind me you can't see, but there's like loading dots and those are moving, so that's good. That's always nice to see. Don't know, my graphics card usage went up to like 43% there, and that's not really normal. Uh-oh, it froze again. It froze again, chat. What's going on? Okay, I'm in the game. Maybe we just leave it alone. It'll be normal for me. Okay, so I don't actually remember. Okay, I do. I remember how we got here, I think. I like pinged myself up here and then chat was like, oh my god, I'm lagging still. Why? That's so strange. It wasn't doing this last time. Hacker voice, we're in. I mean, it looks like we're in. I don't know if we actually are. Okay, it looks like I need to bounce up there. So I probably need to get the floor like orange. Oh my god, why is the game lagging so much? Okay. So if I get... What if I just do that? Oh my god, I can't. Oh... Wait. I'm confused. Hello, Gooty. I know Portal does not like being minimized. Yeah, I haven't minimized it. So I don't know why it's acting up. It's lagging out. Hopefully it's not too bad though. Dude. Okay, hold up, because how does it expect me to do anything here? Okay, the only walls that I can access is that wall, that wall, and that wall. There is walls over there, but I don't think that's anything to do with the place that I'm supposed to be going. It looks like I'm supposed to try and jump over there. You're the artist formerly known as Streams at Goats. Oh yeah, I recognize your Streams at Goats name. You changed your name. You changed your name? Okay, what if I did that? And then that. What happens? Okay, it went on me, but that's not what I want. Dude, what the heck? I don't know how I'm gonna get any of this to work because the whole entire floor is grated, so I can't actually... I can't go anywhere, man. I mean, maybe I can jump from that side. No, because... Wait, all of the walls are vertical? There's no walls that would allow me to jump up? Yeah, this was probably a really bad time for me to pause last time because at least last time I kind of had more of an idea of like the mechanics of how this all worked. Whereas right now, I forgot everything. See, like, there's nothing. That's definite. Oh god! Oh my god. Oh my god. There's nowhere for it to land. Orange flavored test subject. Which flavor would you drink, chat? The orange or the blue? I would probably drink the orange because it looks like iron brew. Bro, I'm confused. I'm very confused. I don't see a way for me to get any of that goo onto either of these walls at all. It's not gonna work. Doesn't reach. It doesn't reach all the way over there. You would go to the orange one. Correct answer. That's the correct answer. What about over there? Is that too far? Is that like too far? Okay, well, we got the floor there covered. I don't even know if that's helpful. Maybe? I don't know. I can't tell. I'll just cover the floor over there. The blue one restores your mana before killing you. At least it has the courtesy to restore the mana, though. Orange makes you want orange coke. Orange coke? Can't say I've ever had that. I've never had orange coke before. Wait, look, a little bit got over here. Guess I can't really do anything with that, though. What about that? Probably not gonna do anything, right? Man. I mean, okay. Wait, duh. I didn't even think about this. I can go over there. Duh. I probably need... Wait, I don't know. Whee! Why did I just do this? I can't actually see where I'm supposed to go. I guess I want to jump. So let's try and get like a tiny bit of blue at the end there. Let's try and get like the tiniest bit of blue. Oh no! Wait, I guess that's fine. I think. Okay, wait. Okay, wait, watch this. No! Yoink! Right. But where do I go from here? No! No! What did you just say? What did you just say, Goats? You believe in my big brain? Do you want to try that again? You want to try that again? I think you need to try that again, because that... I didn't even need to go back through there for that. Okay, give me the blue. I genuinely can't see where I'm supposed to open the next portal to. Oh, over there? Okay. I didn't even see that. Okay. That must be where I'm going, right? Well, let's try it. Yoink. Oh, shit. Okay, that's definitely the right tactic. Oh my god, if I could actually do it, that would be great. Okay, we're gonna run. Yoink. Oh my god! Big Scottish deep fried brain. You'd think a deep fried brain would be able to do more than what I can do here. Right, well, we got to the next layer. Okay, so then we probably want to make it... Huh. Over there? Oh, I guess maybe we... Use the momentum of that jump to get over there, but surely not. That's not high enough, right? Or couldn't I just do like that and then... Well, that was easy, no? That looked a wee bit more complicated. Why is it just... Oh. Okay. Well, that's not fair if it just turns back around. Wait, can I portal on this? Damn. Where does that even take me? How would that even work? For what reason do I even want to be on that? Like, why? Why is that there? Also, there's no block for me to, like, go on? Me confused. I was thinking all that was a wee bit too easy that I just walked through all of those. Okay, so I can't, like, portal on top of that platform, so I don't really know what I'm trying to do. So I want to... where do I want to be? Over there? I love watching this game break people. This game has not stopped breaking my brain, I'm gonna be honest. If you saw this, like, ever since I started playing it, I never fully understood what I was doing. Like, I feel like most of the time I'm only succeeding through sheer dumb luck or like sheer determination to just try every solution. It's kind of crazy. Hi Kitty, welcome in. How are you? Good to see you. I hope you're having a good week. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah, I can't do anything with that, honestly, but it is quite slow, but maybe I need to portal back there just to like help me understand where I'm going or what I'm trying to do. Somehow, if that over there, if the button was to stay on, then I could maybe go boom, boom. I need to somehow get the blue goo on top of that so that I can jump all the way up there. Just wait till you attempt co-op. It's like this times 10 with the chaos. Oh my god. Well, that's if I ever do the co-op, I'm gonna like have somebody who understands the game play it with me because I'm gonna be useless. I will be so useless otherwise. I mean, I'm still very useless. I mean, right now, for example, I honestly don't. I wonder if there's merit in like getting some blue goo there. Just okay, and then like there's jumpability, you know. And I don't know, like I'm not sure if that's gonna work down there. Like, is that gonna do anything down there? I'm assuming. Maybe it should be orange. Maybe I could put the orange here. Sorry, I'm totally just experimenting right now. Like, I honestly don't know if any of this is right. Oh god. It like put blue and orange there. That was weird. How the hell would I even cover that panel? Right, anyway. I feel like that did something. I'm just not sure what. Let's go back through and see see. Okay, so what we've got here is a little bit of orange and a little bit of blue. That's all we've got. So, still not 100% sure if that even done anything. Oh god. Went so speedy. So speedy through there. I for real can't tell what I'm doing. Like, until I work out what this thing does, I'm not gonna succeed. Because I don't know what I'm trying to do. Is this supposed to be blue, maybe? Can I? I can't get it to it from here. Right, I'm gonna have to go back. I'll be back. Right, I want blue. Did I just say? Yeah, I think I want blue for in here. Wait, it didn't work. Why didn't it go blue? Maybe I didn't leave it long enough. I guess I didn't leave it long enough. I'll let like a couple more spurts of blue go through. Okay, that should be enough. Oops. Oh god, yeah, I don't want to go there. No. Where am I? Okay. What, Ryan? No. Just me being like, what the hell? I just blurred my own self. How disgusting of me. Hello, Deck. How are you? I'm very confused as always. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing here, but I have the zoomies. I have the zoomies, so that's great, I guess. What, right? How do you always manage to get those clips where I'm just like being an absolute idiot? Like, or is it the case that I'm just always an idiot? Like, I think that might be more likely. The falling, I know, I was like, no! Sometimes the momentum can just be too much in this game. Okay, I think I need to go back up there because honestly, I don't fucking know. Right, so we've made it up here. This is going to come in handy somehow. I just don't know how. And then there's a platform over there that I just don't know what it's for. Like, I just don't know why that's there. Right, let's go look at it again. Just so that in case maybe my brain starts to work. No, that's not the right way. This way. I go this way. So, we have a button. If we jump on the button, it flips the platform upside down. This platform cannot be portaled onto. Therefore, I'm not entirely sure why we need it. Something I just thought of, though. I don't know if it's going to be possible to do it. Okay, I'm going to try, though. What if I put the blue shit? Wait. I was gonna say, what if I put the blue shit on, like, if the blue shit could come out of there? That would be good, though. Because then blue would go on there, but I don't know why. It's always pure comedy gold. I'm an international treasure. Now, that is getting my head too big. That's going to get my head way too big. What, right? But keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Right, so I can't see... Okay, wait. The blue one is still down there. Then if I go like this... Then it's gonna start... Yeah. Okay. That's what I wanted to happen. Okay, so that thing's then gonna be covered in blue. Which is, I think, a good thing. I think. Yeah, so there it is, covered in blue. Oh, Jesus Christ. So... Now... What if we want this to be blue as well and then I can jump on top of it, but then the platform's gonna turn? I don't fucking know. I just don't know the purpose of this thing. Like, I kind of know how to use these tubes to my advantage here, but I don't know how. Is there a block hidden somewhere that I've missed or something? Because kind of can't really figure out how I would even get on top of that without standing here on this freaking button. Maybe I'm being dumb again, most likely, but blue. Oh my god, what is with these glitches? Chat, am I on the right track? I'm on the right track. Oh no. Sorry. What did I just do there? So I put blue on top of that. How did I even do that actually? How did I do that? Oh god. Let me out. Is there a way to get that shit blue as well? Let's try it. I haven't really had a need for the orange yet. I mean, apart from to run and jump there, I haven't really needed the orange. Okay, look, there is more blue, so kind of looks like that did something. Oh god, now I'm covered in blue. And then the blue goes there. Okay, so I just want the orange to go here. Okay, let's go back. Oh! Oh god! Oh my 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 god! I'm on the platform. I'm on the platform. Am I supposed to be here? I don't know. Oh god. I don't know what to do! Can I somehow get this part of the platform blue? That wouldn't make sense. Chat, am I supposed to be up here? I don't know. I might need help. I'm not supposed to be over there, am I? I'm supposed to be here. Because this is literally where I came from. I came from that side. Unless maybe I am supposed to go there. I don't know. Should I go and see? I'll go and see in case there's a block or something there. Hello? 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 No. That's literally how I got here. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I'm supposed to be doing anything with this part. Hello, Steve! This is one of the most fun puzzles and you figure it out. Oh, it doesn't feel fun for me right now because I'm confused. So, like, the part I'm... Oh, God! Oh, damn. Okay, well, I guess that was kind of fun. Wasn't what I meant to do. Shit. I'm all the way back here. Now I'm never going to remember how I even did that, so that's crazy. Alright, well... Fuck. Well, shit. Oh no! This is just the story of my entire Portal experience. It's just like me falling into the mud or me getting very confused on where I'm supposed to go. Or both at once, you know? Why not both? Right, we made it up. And then we need to get the blue onto that thing. So let's get the blue to come out. Okay, great. And then I think we wanted to get orange and blue there. So let's just go like me. No, 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 no. I want blue. Okay, yeah, blue. Okay. And then orange. Let's like get orange over the entire floor again. Like probably that's probably enough. Yeah, that's probably enough. Okay, and then like a little bit of blue, I think. Yeah. And then I forgot what we did with that side. I'm probably gonna have to go back through to figure it out. That's the wrong side. So I think we put one there so that I could get blue on the thing, didn't I? Orange, and then I'm gonna go orange. Oops. So that goes blue. I don't even know if I need to do that, honestly. Oh god, I can't see the chat box. Skeetser, hello Skeetser. Sorry, I couldn't see that there because of the chat. I don't want to derail you, but I just wanted to say you inspired me to play the Bloodborne DLC years ago, and since then I've gone and played every soul. Oh, thank you for your recommendation and for your encouragement. Oh my god, that is so cool. Oh my god, that's actually so cool. So, fun fact, Skeetser, you probably knew this if you were watching back then, but Bloodborne was my first Souls game. Then I went and played all the other ones as well. So, I'm so glad that by watching the channel you got inspired to do that as well. That's amazing. Thank you for coming to say hello. Oh my god, it's nice to have you. Hi anime girls, welcome. I am indeed playing more of Portal, your childhood game. Honestly, if I played this as a child, I definitely wouldn't have made it this far in life, because I would have been so infuriated. It's definitely something. It's definitely something. How are you doing today? Okay, I really need to figure this out. Let's go back over. So we're here. Okay. So here's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like. It looks like I'm supposed to do like a launch moment, you know? On top of that platform, and then do another jumpy jump over there. However, we have two issues. How am I going to get enough traction to do a jumpy this far? And then how am I going to make sure that that thing is turned round when I do it? Hi Mayo! Bloodborne. Oh my god, I'm so happy I played that game, man. I feel like I wouldn't be enjoying life as much if I hadn't played that. So fun. How are you doing? So far so good. Just like the light cyan color of sunlight and relaxation. Also, I love the Portal 2 mod series and edits. I've never... Wait, mods? You can get mods for this game? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, what if we did this crazy thing, right? I feel like... Wait, can I save the game? So, like, if I save here, then I'm not gonna... Okay. Okay, no. That... No. What I thought was maybe gonna happen there... What I thought was gonna happen there was I was gonna go... Like, do that, right? And then... Zoom. Whoa! And then jump over there. But I am nowhere near... Like, I don't have enough traction to do it. You can see the solution? Do you want to tell me? Because honestly, I don't see it. Like, here's what I'm struggling with. I can't figure out how to keep that platform in place. Because it looks like I'm supposed to yump, like a big yump, onto it and go boing. But I don't know how to. To be honest, when I came across you, I had never heard or seen of Soulsborne games. After a long time, you were one of the people that got me to give Dark Souls 1 a go. Oh my god. Sorry, but that's actually so nice. What the hell? Tove, hello! Oh my god, hi gamers. Hi Mega Man, Duck, Lady, Sebastian, J Perez, Will Walk, Mewim, Boing. Do you want to hear the boing again? Wait. Oh, it's very satisfying. Hi everyone! I'm just gonna boing for a bit. Hi, Chum. Hi, Rose. Hi, Patty. How are you all doing? Good to see you. Tove, how was your stream? Can I have a shout out for Tove, please? How are you all doing? It's so nice to see you. You love Portal. So, lady, I have a love-hate relationship. Oh, I'm okay. I have a... I'm sorry. It hurt me. It hurt what I was about to say. I have a love-hate relationship with this game. I'm gonna do a shout because I don't know if I have any mods. I have a love-hate relationship with this game because I'm not very good at it and I get very stuck all the time. So I'm just like, if the solution works, then I just take it and move on. But I'm kind of stuck. Stream was good. You had a Monster Hunter sponsee. Let's go. Game crashed a lot, but do you know, I did see, so I somehow got a code through my work and I was like, all right, thanks, I'll take it. But I don't really play Monster Hunter and I didn't really like it when I like played it, but I did read that it doesn't play well on PC, at least right now. Maybe it needs patched or whatever, but I hope it went relatively well. It's so annoying though when the game crashes and you're just like, man, I'm trying to game here. I'm gonna give Lady a shout out too because two cool ladies in my chat. No pun intended. Hello, Paco. Paco, oh my god, thank god you're here because I am stuck and I might need help. Me and Deck were trying to like figure it out, but I don't think we got there. I don't think we quite got there. Oh, you were playing. I saw Nico, Dinos, and Gile playing that game, Mandragora. It's like a platformer, I guess. How was it? You're on that. I'm on this level. So Paco, like last stream, I like stopped here because I was like, oh, I don't really have enough brain power to keep going, and you were like, oh, this one's hard. Now I see why you said that. Yeah, Dick, feel free. Go ahead. I'm not gonna ban you for telling me what to do. Yep. Like, I know what to do. I just don't know how to do it. Like, I need this to not move. Like, I need the platform to stay like that. This is what's in my head. I'm supposed to go boing, and then like that's it, but I can't. Yeah, so rough. It was so cool, very promising. Metroidvania. That's cool. I'll maybe watch a wee bit more gameplay. When does it come out? Or wait, it's out already? Or that was a demo, sorry. What if you put the blue gel on the other side? So, like, I don't know how to do that. Wait, actually, yeah, no, I do. Okay, so I had a thought to do that, right? I had a thought to do it, but I couldn't figure out how to get the blue gel from where I am without using both of my portals. So like, for example, that's literally not what I meant to do, but okay. So like, okay, if I go like that, and then actually that could work. Wait, could it? Okay, so for example, right there, it's currently going blue, but if I portal back, then it's going to take the portal back. So in order for me to get back down there to flip the platform, do you know what I mean? So I need to go down there, press the button so that the platform flips so that the blue can go on there. But in order to get back down there, I need to portal again. So I need to take the orange portal back, and then the blue won't be coming out. Am I being dumb? Doug, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the 52 months. By the way, I'm so sorry. I totally just said hi when the raiders came in and started like blabbing. If you're new here, hi, I'm Saria. I'm a Scottish Bright streamer. We're doing our ping tuber. We're in big ping tuber energy today. I'm tired. It's been a busy week, but I'm here. I was almost going to cancel stream and then I didn't, so I made it. But it's nice to meet all of you. I usually play like Soulsborne, or I do horror. Sometimes I do like indie games, just depends how we're feeling. And if you were already here and you're not following Tove, please go do. She's wonderful. I've been watching her for years on Twitch, and her emotes are literally the best emotes on Twitch, just saying. And she plays great games, and I'm pretty sure, so again, I haven't really been on Twitch much the past, oh my god, I've really not been watching a lot of Twitch, and it's actually sad because I kind of for a while before Christmas was like really regularly tuning in, but I'm pretty sure Tove has been playing Dark Souls again, and I really want to start watching again because I love that game. I have a vantage point from here. Yeah, so, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I need to be on that platform. My body needs to be on there. The portal under the blue goo doesn't need to move. Use the other... Yeah, but I can't. Wait, can I? Ow! Oh, wait, yeah, actually, I can, I think. Can I? No, there's the blue goo's not there anymore. See? Oh my god, Cass, thank you as well for the resub. For 37 months. Please enjoy your emotes, your IP view, and your excessive profanity. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. We're very far along the help me train. Like, I'm like, straight up, what am I doing? Like, that's the vibe. So like, I don't understand. Can I jump and shoot the portal? I don't have any blue goo. I don't have enough. Ah! Fuck. Oh my god. That's like the 5th fucking time I've done that. Jeez. Well, I guess we're kind of back where we were. Is this blue? There is a cube? What? There's a cube? There's a cube? You're fucking telling me there's a cube? No fucking way. Where? I was wondering. I could do this without the cube. I mean, with the cube. Like this, but not die? Fuck you. Fuck you. Well, I'm struggling. I'm peacefully power washing a paintball arena. It kind of looks like you could come and power wash this. This kind of looks like a paintball arena, to be honest. Okay, I'm so for real. Where the fuck's the cube? I don't see nothing. Oh wait! Oh my god! Oh my god! I just saw it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, what the hell? How the fuck do I get that? Oh shit! Oh my god! A cube. Wait, but okay, so I was thinking like the cube was just going to be like chilling on the ground, but like the cube is fucking on a massive platform. Portal DLC for Power Wash Sim when? Honestly, that would be really fun. That'd be really fun. Okay, let's try and go back there. Go over here. Because I need me that cube. Okay, so I can't... How do I... Hello? 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 Do I... the ground's grated, so how do I bounce? Man, they didn't give me enough walls! You remember the solution? It's coming back. It's all coming back to me now. It's not coming back to me at all. I don't how am I supposed to get up there? I need to do a zoom, but here's the problem. All of the floors are grated, so I can't put any of the orange goo on the ground. Or the blue goo for that matter. Yeah, yeah, how do I get this? Yeah, just you can tell me, Doug. Thank you for asking. At this point, I'm in the ping tuber mode where I'm just like, my brain's broken, and I need to know how to get this done. You know the orange goo runway? Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know the cube's there, but I don't know how to get it, so that doesn't change nothing. Go back over and fill the ground with orange. Oh, okay. But, like, yeah, because there's blue there so that I could jump. There was blue so that I could jump. And then go through there. But I guess I didn't even need to do that, to be honest. So I only want orange? Bro, I can't even imagine how you would do this. So if I zoom through and then... No need to jump, only run? Okay, in that case. I will. I fucking will. So like... Oh shit. I probably should have put the portal back there. Wait, which wall does it go? Let's test it. Let's just have a wee look. Oh shit, I can't because... Fuck. How do we go back over there? Do I jump? I'm not gonna make that. Oops. That's the wrong button. Okay, I'm at the runway. Oh. Is that even... That's not even doing anything. Go to the end? Okay, so like here? I'm here? Hi, Pixie. No, I'm not one with the portal. I'm very stuck. Now look to the wall. Look on top of my orange portal. Okay, this thing. Put the blue one there. Oh my... What? In what world? How did the blue even get there? Sorry, there's absolutely no way I would have got that. There is no way I would have got that. What the fuck? That's crazy. That's insane. Okay, thanks, guys. What the... No! Oh, no! What? Oh my god! Ah! I need to... How is that possible? Oh! Thank god it came back. Oh, oh my god. This is so... Oh my god, this game's stressing me out. The little wall on top is tilting. Okay, yeah, it did, right? So do you want to know what I was doing earlier, Paco? I put the blue so that I could jump through the platform to go there. I didn't even think about just walking through. I overcomplicated it again. Ugh. Right. Anyway, fuck's sake. Let's go. Oh, don't knock the fucking cube again. Right, so now I want to be down there, right? So we're going down there. Lift my cube. My cube gonna go on top. And my cube's on top. And then I'm going back. And now I think I'm probably gonna have to use the runway again, right? Or something. Should I use the runway again? Because this isn't going to be... That's not going to take me far enough. Maybe I need to go back to the runway. But like, where... Here? Is that going to work? Tally-ho! Oh my god! Ah! Ah! Too much momentum. Too much momentum. Too much momentum. Right. Fuck, I'm back here. I need to start saving the bloody game, man. Right. That was just a practice. Practice run. Right. Shit. I'm pure scared I'm going to like forget what to do. Right, okay. I'm going to save the game here because if I fucking do that again then... Right, probably only need like half of the momentum, like that much, so... Ah! No, the platform! I forgot the cube! I forgot to put the cube! I forgot. I thought... I don't know what I thought. I don't know what I thought, honestly. I guess I could just do that. I don't even have to go up there, I guess. I can just do this. Okay, cube is down. And then I go Yankees up here. And then I go yeet. And then yeet. Yeet. Okay. That nearly worked by default because she nailed the momentum. Yeah. Damn. This time. Okay, this time. Wee! Oh my god, please. Yes! I'm up! Thank God I'm out!
There's still some positions available for that bonus opportunity I mentioned earlier. Again, all you gotta do is let us disassemble you. We're not banging
you know what?
together here. We know how
Please
to put
disassemble
a man
me.
back together. So that's a complete reassembly.
Do it now.
New vitals, spit shine on the old ones. Plus
No,
we're
don't put me
out
back
timbers.
together.
Frankly, you ought to be paying us.
Just unassemble me and leave me alone. Oh my god, that little duck emote is so cute. How do I get that? I want that. The clapping duck is so cute. I did it, chat.
Thank you. I can't believe
Finally.
I'm thanking these people. For staggering your way through Aperture Science's propulsion gel testing, you've made some real contributions
You are
to
very
society for
welcome,
change,
mate.
and for that, humanity is grateful.
You're so welcome.
If you had any belongings, please pick them up now. We don't want old newspapers and sticks cluttering up the building. For many of you, I realize $60 is an unprecedented windfall, so don't go spending it all on, I don't know, Carolyn, what do these people buy? Tattered hats?
Oh my lord, he is out of touch. He is out of touch. Elevator to surface. Okay, I guess it's not going to be as easy as that for me. Oh my god, wait. I need those emotes. Up there? Wee! Oh, hell yeah. This is the way out, right? They're so good. Wait, you all have them? I need to look whose emotes these are. Duck Saint. I don't know Duck Saint. They have cool emotes though. Hello Lego, how are you doing? Welcome in. Oh, welcome to the stream. Right, I can't see my Twitch chat for some reason. Oh, I put the tab far away. My bad. Wait, you all have them? Oh my god. Am I the only one that doesn't have those emotes? I want them. Please share. You're good? Same, honestly. Same. Relatable. Oh shit. Well, I'm gonna be good if I go down there. Help? Help me? Where's there like another portable wall? Gamma station. Okay, but like that can't be the way to go. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die if I go that way. Well then, goo it is. Goo it is and goo it shall be. Goo it is and goo it shall be. Alright, that was... Enjoy the duck emotes. Huh? Huh? Did you... What? Oh my god! Did you give me this? Oh my god! Oh my god! Thank you, Samurai. They are so cute. Wait, the rose one is literally so cute. Oh, they have a Hollow Knight Huggies. I'm gonna go follow this person. Wait, were they like in Tove's stream maybe? Because like a lot of you have their emotes. Oh my god, I'm gonna follow. Thank you for the emotes. I honestly love people who have nice emotes. They make me so happy to look at, especially when they're like cute like that. I love them. Duck stream. That's cool. Oh my god, they're a pink tuber? Or VTuber? Sorry, I'm like totally like investigating. Oh my god, they have a really cool pink tuber. Okay, I'm definitely gonna go watch them. Oh my god, wait, is that back to the mines? You're a ducky viewer as well? He's fine. Oh, I'm definitely gonna go say hello. Those emotes are really fucking cute. Anyway. Thank you so much, Samurai. Oh my god.
Carolyn, why do I know this woman?
You are her.
Kill her? Or
You are her. Oh my god.
Boom. A child.
Sky!
can you handle things for yourself
No.
for a while? I need to think.
No, I can't. Hi, Sky. Hello. How are you? I saw you've been out touching grass recently. How was the grass touching? How did it go? Oh, I got some levers to pull. Should we pull them all? Or push them all? I don't know what you would call that. We just turned shit on. Oh! Oh! Okay, we overload. That might be a little bit too much. A little bit too much. Next time I join, ask Ducky for a loan. He will know what it is, and then he get you what you can, and later give it to me. A loan of what? Oh shit, I'm dead. Ah! Okay, well, that went well. I'm assuming I probably need the orange. I need the orange shit to be on the wall for that one. But how? Maybe that wall? Where's the orange? Let's go down. Wait. First of all, let me leave. Okay, wait. We need to turn the water off, I guess. Where's the orange? What's this white shit? Is this water? It was wet there and smelt of air. It sounds fucking terrible. I hope you had a good time. Yeah, look. Sky's got little duckies too. It's bread, but it has its purpose. Oh my god, I'm getting all the lore. I feel like I'm getting like secret behind the scenes lore that I shouldn't have. Okay, wait. I'm assuming I should turn one of those off. Let me turn the water off because I don't need that shit. Gel pressure. Wait, can't. I can. I can't pull it. I can't. Wait, what? I can't. Shit. Then where's the orange? There's some orange there, but... Oh my god, I'm stressed. Help. I can't see shit. Bruh. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing. I think that the water like completely decimated the... Wait, what the hell? Did I come from here? Wait, I'm so confused right now. Where the fuck do I want to go? Where do I want to go? Oh, no worries, Paco. Thank you. I hope you have a good time with your guests. What do you mean you and your guests don't want to watch me play Portal all night? That's crazy. I jest. You have a great evening. You've been busy other than that, just on work break. Oh, you have time off. Oh, wait, you're on your break, right? I thought you were saying you were having a wee breaky from work. Hope Portal's going well. Well, Sky, I got really stuck for like half an hour and I only just got out, and now I think I might be stuck again, so. I have a good singing voice. Man. That I've never heard. I will take... I don't even know what I just sang, honestly, but thanks. I'm gonna take it. You can suggest it. Tell them I'm sorry in advance. I'm sorry in advance. Bro, I don't know what to do. Oh, wait, shit. That actually worked. Pog? That's crazy. Okay. Damn. Wait, but I probably need bouncy shit. I feel like I need bouncy shit. Wait. What's... Okay. Wait. Blue? Orange? Wait. No, the floor can't do it. Then I don't know how I'm supposed to get over there. Probably the orange, but... Oh my god. Oh my god. Pog. Saved. You sing, you game. Imagine me doing any of those things except from yapping. I have white goo now. It's GG. You're unstoppable. Literally can do anything you want. I don't know what the white goo does. It just looks extremely suspicious. And it doesn't seem to do anything. I'm the first Scottish streamer that you followed. I'm definitely Scottish and I definitely have Shrek emotes. Also, can we fucking talk? Chat, can we talk for a minute? What the actual hell happened to Shrek in the new video of the Shrek 5 movie? What the hell did they do to that man? It's so bad. Hi Stacy, hello. How are you today? The game hasn't explained the white goo. I have my own thoughts on what it might be, but I ain't saying shit. Hi Mikolash, good to see you. Nice potato gun. I have potato aim, so it matches me perfectly. I zip. That video was so bad. I was so upset. As probably the biggest Shrek stan, I was extremely upset, but I'm gonna turn this down a bit. It's very loud. I was fucking infuriated. Like, I saw, so like 3 people sent me it, right, because they know I like Shrek, and then I was like excited for it, obviously, and then I was like, wait, wait, what the hell am I watching? Okay, here's the thing, guys. I don't think my goal here is to get goo anywhere. I think my job is to go where the goo is already and make my way up. My only issue is I don't know how. Oh wait! I just realized something. The white goo gives me portals. Wait, does it work? Oh, it does. So that means, wait, but not on the blue section though. Oh my god. Oh my god. But then how do we get the white goo to go where I want it to go? Is there any more? Wait. How do I get over there? Oh my god. I don't see anywhere to portal to over there. That was literally not Shrek. He had work done. Because what was that? He has a whole ass skin routine, a skincare routine and everything. Got your daily beans, Lego. Let's go. Eat your beans. This is science. I don't know, man. I never considered myself much of a scientist. Scientist. Okay, bro. I figured out what the white goo does, but like, now what? Basically. I can't go anywhere. I want to be over there. We want to yoink. Wait, maybe I can do this. Watch this. Yeet. Oh. That's literally not what I meant to do. Wait, no, that's not gonna work. Dummy. Wait, it might. No. No. Okay, wait. Do that, and then, like, I wish it would let me go there. I don't know. Swampy Boy got a bit more of a skincare routine than me. So everyone was like, oh, it's just because he's old now or whatever. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. Just jump. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone was like, oh, it's just because he's older. And it's like, no. He literally, his whole face shape changed. His entire face shape changed. Don't die. Oh my god. I made it, chat! I made it.
It's evil.
I like me a little burb.
It flew off. Good for him. All right.
Good for him. Okay, are we go? Where do we want to go here? Where do we want to go? Where is it you want to go? Where is it you want to go? Yay, I think that was right. Hi, Nadia. Welcome in. Hello. How are you doing? Good to see you. We're portaling at the moment. Or trying to. How are you doing? I don't even know if that was right. Wait, was it? Don't know how much higher up I can go. Don't. Oh wait, what the hell? Damn, I thought that was a portal wall. They turned off comments under the cast. Wait, did they? Oh, not the unprecedented level of Shrek hatred. That's crazy work. Also, that's sad. That's sad. I mean, it does look pretty bad. No, no, no. Oh my god, please don't take me all the way back to... Please don't take me all the way back. No. Shit. Okay, it didn't take me that far back. Oh, wait. Oh shit, no. Sorry, I'm confused. Run! Kill it, kill it, kill it. I want to go there.
Alright, back to thinking.
I don't know. Why is it always so confusing, chat? I just want to figure it out. What if I did that? Can I go there or? No, I'm definitely gonna die if I do that. Somehow thought that I would make it. You're good? Excited for the weekend? Let's go. I'm excited. I'm glad it's the weekend. It was a busy week. How are you? What are you doing at the weekend? Anything fun? It does look bad. So here's my thing. I haven't heard anyone who is like a millennial or whatever say that it looks good, and I think that's because we're so like full of nostalgia for it. Whereas like folks that don't mind what it looks like probably never watched the originals or like grew up with them. No worries, Sky. Thank you for popping in. It's always nice to see you. Hopefully I'll get to pop into one of yours soon. Have a good lurkies and hope work goes well. The interest brain rot. Oh my god, right. So the first that was the first thing I saw and I was like, that cannot be for real. Like, why are they showing like the Shrek TikTok brain rot? Like, that can't possibly be a part of it. Oh no, it was. It certainly was. Concerningly. Wait, can I go for this? Damn. Where for? Can I go now? Is that even a wall? It's not even a wall, bro. Monster hunting? I actually do have the game, but I don't really play Monster Hunter. I've played it like once on stream and I wasn't a big fan of it, to be honest. Is that like where I came from? That's literally where I came from. Why would I go back there? Why would I go back there? Oh, I probably want to do a big yump moment. Do I want to do like a big yump? But how? How would I do that? If I put the... Wait, I'm confused. Wait. Yeah. How do I get over here? Yeah, the Shrek 5 teaser. A moment where they're looking more refined. Yeah, that does. They don't look right. I'm gonna chill and eat snacks. That sounds so good. Wait, you don't like Monster Hunter? I would have thought that you would like that game, Nadia. I would have thought that was kind of your vibe. Oh my god. Ooh, nice save, nice save. Chat, I'm stumped again. I feel like I'm not in a Portal mood today at all, and I just keep making really stupid moves. But I for real don't know what to do. You can tell me, chat, where do I go? I feel like I'm supposed to like give myself momentum and like jump up there, but I can't see how to do that given none of the floor has like portalable floors. Yeah, I understand that I'm supposed to get from there to there. Where did I come? Oh, the orange thing again. Oops. I want to go back there, I guess, to the orange thing. Ah, I didn't even see that wall, to be honest. Okay. Thank you, Doug. It's like I'm almost there. Just watch the teaser. What is more off-putting, how Shrek looks or that it comes out almost 2 years? Both, honestly. No, don't, like, I saw a tweet and it was like, okay, I think I posted it in was it Discord? I posted it in the Rage Club Discord, I think, and I was like, seriously? What the hell? Like, they just looked so different. I think Shrek's eyes are too close together. Like, if you compare, like, his old model, like, I don't mind if they make it look more refined and whatnot, but his face changed. Doesn't even look like Shrek. I don't really mind the rest. I mean, Fiona also looks a bit fucked up, but... You played the first ever, like, right when I started streaming 8 years ago and sold it back to GameStop because it was too grindy. Yeah. So my first issue with it, Nadia, was that when I'm fighting bosses, I couldn't tell how much damage I was doing. And I didn't know when it was going to be done. And like the first enemy I came across took me like 20 minutes to kill. And I was like, nah. Like, there's a difference between a boss taking you 20 minutes to kill on Dark Souls versus that. I don't know what it was. It just felt so different. You didn't play it in years, but wondered if you jump in, you will jump when you arrive as well. Wait, what? Wondered if you jump in, you will jump when you arrive. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, Wait, what? Hi, Silverheart. Good to see you. I'm doing good, thanks. We're playing some Portal. How are you? Hi, Elusive. Happy Friday. It takes so long and I just wasn't having fun. Like, it didn't feel... Yeah, exactly. That's the right word for it. The satisfaction was not there.
Welcome to the Enrichment Center.
Oh my god, he sounds enriched.
Since making test participation mandatory for all employees, the quality of
Oh
our test
god.
subjects has risen dramatically. Employee retention, however, has not.
Because they all fucking died?
As a result, you may have heard we're going to phase out human testing. There's still a few things left to wrap
He
up,
looks
though.
old and
Bean
bad.
counters told me we literally could not afford to buy $7 worth of moon rocks, much less 70 million. Bought them anyway. Ground them up, mixed them into a gel. And guess what? Ground up moon rocks are pure poison.
Oh my god.
I am deathly ill.
You're
Still,
so
it turns out
dumb.
they're a great portal conductor. So now, we're going to see if jumping in and out of these new portals can somehow leach the lunar poison out of a man's bloodstream.
Oh.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Let's all stay positive and do some science.
When life gives you lemons,
I would really appreciate it if you could test as fast as
make
possible.
poison
Caroline,
lunar
please
rocks.
bring me more pain pills.
Caroline, you're okay, which is better than bad. That is better than bad. But I hope that you're feeling good tomorrow. Well, Cave is not doing too good, right? It's not looking good for him. Please do not test if you're allergic to lunar sediment and or starch, or if you fulfilled your monthly test self-election quota. You are confident enough in your work performance to unvolunteer from the test self-election. Oh, they had fun writing this game. Lunar poison does actually, if I was going to die from anything, probably rather it be that, to be honest. I would probably rather that it was that. Oh, GLaDOS? GLaDOS did a little shimmy there. She shimmied. God, this elevator is going high. Ooh, more goo. I mean, white goo. Or whatever. Clear goo? I don't know. Wherefore do I want to go? Nothing. Nothing. I said nothing. No. Where do I put it? Where do I put the mysterious white goo? Where does it go? It doesn't go on me. They couldn't have made it another color. They couldn't have made it like pink, purple, brown even. Still be sus, but he's come down with a bit of lunar poisoning. It sounds like something out of Fallout, doesn't it? It sounds so like apocalyptic. Right, guys, where the hell? Where the fuck do I go? I don't see any portalable things. And I don't see anywhere. I mean, that did something, but I don't know. Oh, I kind of want to go over there, don't I? So maybe... But I can't see. Thing is, like, I can't see. I can't see up there to put a portal. Oh, wait, that worked. Hello? 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 Oh, shit. I don't think I can go through that. That'll do. I made it! Hi, Guyver! Good evening. I missed the last stream, so I had to go back to see your reaction to the heel turn by Wheatley. Oh, I was mad at that. I was like, nah, there's no way he just turned on me like this. Disgusting! Very disgusting. I guess the idea is to just keep trying to cover ground. Guess we might want to have it on that thing, on that platform. Because like, where's that going to take me up there? Okay, so I mean, surely I would have to jump from quite a height. Yeah, that's definitely not enough. Sus white liquid indeed. It would be really nice if my gun would shoot the white goo. How do I get it up there? I don't think there's a way. Let's keep looking. Is there another way? Wish I could run. I think I may have fucked up. Oh no, I can still see in there, it's fine. Oh, that goes a little bit high. It seems like it goes higher that way. I don't know. Is that gonna work? I thought that was gonna... Yeah, it won't go through those because it's grated. Okay. Let me just shoot it everywhere. Everywhere it will possibly go, and then figure it out later. Let's burn. Okay, so honestly, it's like just about to touch it. So close yet so far. There must be a way to get up there. I mean, how did I even get it? This one's just all about making a mess, isn't it? That's a little bit higher. Okay. That went a bit higher, so maybe then if I could... I might be barking up the wrong tree, honestly. I mean, okay. I think I want to get... I want to get up there. I want to get up there. What about on that pipe? Maybe I could get it on the pipes. Let's try it. I don't know if that'll work. No, it doesn't go on the pipes. It's pretty much everywhere at this point. Am I being dumb? I don't know if I'm being dumb. I'm probably being dumb. Hello, Raven. Did I say your name right? Hello? Get your baked beans. I want to get from here to here. But I don't know how to. Because this is the highest platform I have. And it's not very high. So I don't really know. It can't be enough of momentum to go up there. See, it doesn't take me far at all. Hello, Matty. Holy smokes, is my favourite Portal streamer. You must not have any other Portal streamers then. This is the game that copies Splitgate. Yeah. Yeah. They basically ripped it off. Shocking. Revy pronounces Rave. Rave? Oh, how do you know that? Do you know them? I can't say I do, but you'd still be my favourite. Too cute. Too cute, ooh. Matty, we were literally just slandering. We were just slandering Shrek. I was going to say you, but that was a bit mean. We were just slandering the Shrek trailer. Oh, so disappointing. Okay, wait. What if... No, it doesn't do anything. Hello, Johnny. Welcome to the stream. You're basically Shrek. Because you're Scottish. I know. So, do you know what other bit I found weird? I didn't really... This did not by any means overtake the weirdness of how Shrek and Fiona looked, but... See how the start, when they were in the mirror and it was like TikTok, I was like, what? I was like, huh? I honestly couldn't. I was like, why have they done that? To obviously appeal to the youngins, but you hated that part. I can't be mad. It's obviously 20 years later. Like, I can't be mad. Right, does somebody mind telling me what to do here? I'm actually getting annoyed. I think I've like passed my threshold of Portal being fun when I don't know what to do. Like, it was fun for like the first 4 streams. And now I'm like confused. There's a higher platform on the pillar behind you. Here. Use the white goop to find the way to portal up there. I don't think my goop will go high enough. to reach up there. Like, in my head, the goop has to be up there. Like, the goop has to go there for me to get through. But maybe I'm thinking of it too narrow. Ooh, this game does get so tricky. It does. It really, really does. The chase in Shrek 2 was literally the O.J. Simpson chase, basically. Spot on. I know. It is true. And I think, like, obviously it is full of references, and that's just not the references that we remember it being. I just gooped everything I could because it was funny. It definitely is funny. Like, I'm enjoying the goopability of everything. I keep pressing the wrong portal, though. Hard to explain, but if you have your portal under the goop, you can put the other portal on the other side of each pillar and then just gradually make the goop. Oh, I see. Oh my god, I keep using the same one that I just put down. I'm so dumb. Yeah, I think, I'll try not to be, like, too upset about it all. Because it's like... Oh, I was looking forward to it, you know? Okay, this is way easier than I was making it, to be honest. But, like, surely I'm not gonna make it through there, though? Oh. Damn. Oh wait, can I just do that side? Or is it not high enough? I think that might be fine. Yay! Ah! No! Oh my god! That's how Andy and I felt with Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, it was like too modern almost. I'm honestly not trying to be a hater, like, as someone who... What the fuck? Right, clearly I don't need to jump. I can just go. Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to be a hater because I love Shrek, but oh my god. So... Oh, fuck off, man. Hate lining up the stupid portal. Oh my god, am I just dumb? I had my jump portal in the right place before. Now you can jump from higher. So I'm here and I want to go up there. So maybe this isn't the best place to drop, but it looks like it is. So like... Okay, that's what I was trying to do. I just don't know why I couldn't do it.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rule the day.
Life's manager? Stop.
Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the
Oh, he's mad.
With the lemons.
I like this guy. Shit.
Point is, if we can store music on a compact disc, why can't we store a man's intelligence and personality on one?
True.
So I have the engineers figuring that out now. Brain mapping, artificial intelligence. We should have been working on it 30 years ago. I will say this, and I'm gonna say it on tape so everybody hears it 100 times a day. If I die before you people can pour me into a computer, I want Carol to run this place.
Ooh.
Now she'll argue. She'll say she can't.
This looks so scary.
She's modest like that, but you make her. Hell, put her in my computer. I don't care. All right, test over.
Okay, so I guess he died then because GLaDOS, who is Caroline. Yeah, look, she's regimented again. She's indoctrinated. I'm the same with Borderlands 2, like they've modernized it and it looks better, but it's not my Borderlands yet. That I honestly would rather keep the nostalgia factor versus making something look better, but that's just me. Take the lemons! Can we put beans in the lemonade? L'Oreal, somebody's going to do that. Yeah! I find out lemons are man-made, so we gave life lemons. You can put beans in anything, that's true. Have a drink of lemon bean drink. I'm so blessed. Y'all are so nice to me. You're so nice to me. Oh my god. I'm scared, chat. This is getting a wee bit ominous. Also, I'm going up really fucking high. Where to now? Here? I think this looked a bit more complicated than it actually is. Unless I'm completely missing the mark here, but... it looked like I was going the right way. Now what? Now what do I do? Oh yeah, I spoke too soon. Now I'm confused. Okay, I think I made it. I don't know if they actually can make it look like the way... Yeah, I don't think so either. And also I did read... Was it you that said it or somebody else that... maybe I read it on Twitter. I was reading loads about it. How they're making it look similar to like the current movies, like what do you call it? Puss in Boots? Can I go up there? Oh no, that's... No. What the hell? Where do I go? I can't see where I'm supposed to go, man. What the hell? Beans and iron brew. I've not actually had that combination, and I don't plan on having that combination, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I would rather not. Bro. No! Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Wait, I don't think I went that far. It's fine. Wait. Okay, I literally can't see a way up. I literally can't see any way up there, man. Maybe I'm supposed to do some sort of like crazy... Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Okay. I'm supposed to do some crazy shit with gravity or something. Oh my god! It worked! That's wild. And again, maybe? I go again? Oh no! No, oh, no, no, no. Dumb. I'm just so bad. I'm so bad at doing things. All the lighting and animation engines will be more advanced. I saw people compare it to Puss in Boots. Yeah. I haven't even seen the Puss in Boots one. Yeah, I've not seen it. Subgoal Saria has a big 30. Oh my god, sorry. A big 32-ounce cup of iron brew with beans. And what the hell would I want to do that for, Lydia? You're evil for thinking of that. Evil. So evil. Oh no. Yeah, okay. Again! My god! That should not be this hard. There we go. Wait, what? That didn't even do nothing. Oh shit, I'm on the wrong side. I need to go there. Okay, and then... go back. Oh my god! This is gonna piss me off. This is gonna piss me off. Ah! Wait, what? I guess I might want to go in a certain angle? I don't know. I can't see where I'm supposed to go! Oh my god. Oh my god! Sorry, but I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I don't like this. I don't like this crap. That is absolutely not where I was supposed to end up. I'm supposed to end up there, I'm assuming. Or there, but... Okay, what if... But what if... Oh! Oh god. Okay, wait. Oh my god. God gamer. God gamer. I didn't even know if that was the way to go. Let's go! Pammy! Hello! Get your beans. Uh-oh. I made it! Imagine having 1,110 beans. Couldn't be me.
We are going to march right back upstairs and make him put me back in my body.
Not gonna happen.
He'll probably kill us because he's incredibly powerful and I have no plan.
At least she's honest.
The odds are 1,000,000 to 1 and that's with some generous rounding. Still though, let's get mad. If we're going to explode, let's at least explode with some dignity.
So mad right now. So mad. Wait, where do I want to go? I'm scared. This doesn't look good, chat. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't see anywhere to get any way to get up there. Maybe I'm doing more yumpies? Oh, I see. Nice. Now what? I love that you said might. It's like there's doubt. We still have some doubts here, but okay, nice. Okay. Wait, how did I even get here? I forgot. Wait, no. No, I want to leave. Wait. Okay, yeah, I need to go back there. I think. Okay, yeah, and then... Oh, shit, but... Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, it's bouncy. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, guys. Boing! Boing! Okay, yep. And then, I don't know what next. Something else. Something else! Did I tell you I'm selling my PC? No? Oh my god, are you? How come you just don't really play it enough, or... That looks like portable. What the hell? You not been playing it much? Oh wait, what's over here? Caution. Okay. I wanna jump up there? Why is that there? I need to get away from the 3 monitor brain rot. The 3 monitors, I feel like 3 monitors, right? When you don't stream, you just don't need it. But it's nice. It's like aesthetic. It's very aesthetically pleasing. Where's the blue drip come from again, guys? I forgot. Where does the blue drip come from? Blue drip? I forgot. I feel like I might need the blue drip again, but I don't know. That looks like I should be able to get up there. You got your laptop that I bought for uni and that has 40... Oh fuck, that's got a 4070. Then you are sorted. Definitely. It's probably good because like a laptop is quite nice to just be able to like be portable as well, and you're not like stuck sitting at your desktop. That's probably really nice. Oh, I hope you get it sold okay. I'm sure you will. How old is it? Mate, I don't know what to do. Again? Oh my god. I feel like I always just get to like the end of the puzzle and then it's like, you thought you knew what you were doing. I've completely forgot how the blue, like... Where does the blue drips come from? Is it gone? Like, I think the blue drips stopped. I think the blue drips was coming from there and now they're not anymore. That's not good for me. Well, I can only assume that maybe I need to do a big jump again. But I don't know. To where? Like that. Oh crap. Yeah, okay. Probably didn't need to do that, but nice. I'm in. You watched La La Land in bed the other night instead of Rotten, and it's so nice to like not sit at your desk. Like, so obviously because I work every day from a desk, I'm like, man, when I have to stream after that, I'm like, oh. But like being able to game from, yeah, I should probably get a Steam Deck. Being able to game from bed or a comfy chair. I mean, my chair's comfy, but not when I've been sitting in it for like 9 hours already. That's good, Matty. Where are you selling it? Are you doing like a Gumtree type thing, or are you going to try and sell it on eBay, or like, don't know how you would even sell a PC. I wouldn't even know where to start. Yeah, much more productive. That's cool. Well, nice. I'm glad. I would honestly, I need to start playing like portable games more. Right, chat. Oh my god. Right, we've got an orange, we've got a blue, and we've got a coom. And I don't really know what my goal is here. Okay, I can portal that though, but... Hello, Darbox! I can't wait to finish looking at bad screen so I can look at good screen. Yes, this is gamer logic. Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem? Okay, for some reason... It's not splushing? It's not really splushing, guys? It's not splushing anywhere near as much as I would have thought it would. Is that even enough? I don't even think that's like enough for a... for another portal? I'm the exact same. We can all relate, I feel like. This is... Okay. No, I don't want orange. Okay. We've got something over there. What about, can I do two from here? How can I not put two portals there? Okay, I can. Still doesn't reach. Honestly, no idea what I'm supposed to do here. How many times have you heard me say that? I'm supposed to go up here, but I just don't know how. Hi, CT. Hello. Bird beans. It's funny when I was working from home because it was the same screen. We'll see. This is what I'm eventually maybe going to do, because I currently have two desks. I have one desk that's my gaming setup and then one that's my work setup. And like initially I did that because I got a standing desk for free and I was like, oh well, I might as well use this. But like I feel like now I don't really need two desks in my room. And I'm kind of like, I'm eventually going to have to sit at the same desk, and I'm like, oh, I like having the separation. Bro, what do I do, man? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What's the point in having the blue and the orange? I honestly don't know. Yeah, it is, because like my work's for work and then my gaming setup's for streaming and gaming. What about if I like... Ooh! Hmm. I'm going high there, I just don't know. Okay, there's no way for any of these walls to have the white goo on them. The only wall that I can have the white goo is here. Hmm. If you quit your job and stream full time, you don't need the work desk. Yeah, but I also have a mortgage to pay, so that is not gonna happen for me. It gets you in a different mindset. It does. It really does. It really, really does, man. It does double when you work where you do. It does, but also not. Like, it's so different. It is a really interesting one, actually, when I think about it. But I definitely still have some sort of, like, separation in my mind about it. It's a strange one indeed. Bro, I don't even know what to do. I'm not even trying anymore. I'm just like, meh, meh, meh. Like, this game got really hard really fast, honestly. I feel like the minute it started introducing all these things, I got just too confused. There's too much going on. I just don't know how I'm gonna get the white goo anywhere else. Can't really get the white goo to do much. It just keeps going straight up in the air. It doesn't have the same flow as the other one. And so, oops, accidentally clicked off the game there. It doesn't really go on the walls the same way. Does anybody want to tell me what to do? Who knows? Should I like go back out? I don't know if that's... Oh, I can? I can go back out. I mean, I could try. I was thinking maybe I could go back and jump. Oh, because the portal's reset when I leave. There's a portalable surface on the ceiling behind where the blue goop was coming out. Oh. Man, I'm so blind. Okay. Kind of assuming it should be not the blue one, but I don't know. Hello, breadcrumbs! How are you doing? Oh my god, I can't stop yawning. Also, does anyone ever get that thing where they breathe in, but they have like a sharp pain in their ribs? Oh, I have that right now and it's really sore. And it like doesn't go away. How the fuck did that blue get up there? I kind of feel like I want that to be the silver goop, but I don't know. But then... I don't know if that even does anything, man. If you put white goop through the portal, it drops the goop on the surface that allows you to spread... Oh, because now I can spread it. Duh. Oh my god, thanks. Yeah. Although I still don't know if that's going to work for me. Is it? I think I'm going to be able to jump through that still though. Unless... I did like... Yeah, that's not going to work. I'm good, breadcrumbs. How are you? I'm very stuck on this game though. I can't see that surface, so I can't portal to it. Oh, ouch. If I say I might give through a portal on the flat wall too. Hmm. Do I want like another... I'm just thinking like, do I want another like runway again? Like... Put my orange portal? Yeah, I want a runway, don't I? Let's try. Oops. Okay, no. I probably have to move that up a bit. See what I'm trying to do? I don't even know if I need to do that, but... Okay. Ow! Oh my god. I thought I was gonna fucking go off the edge there. Alright. We're somewhere else now. I want to be over there? Up here? Where? Wall. Oops. Okay, there's blue. Blue goo. That must mean something. Hmm. I'm assuming I want to go over there, but I don't know. That's literally where I came from? No? Up there? How the fuck am I getting up there? That doesn't make any sense. Put my blue portal under the blue goop? I can't? Do you mean down here? How does the blue goop on the ceiling help me though? How does that help me? What? A white goop. And then like maybe so now I have white goop there. Maybe I can put orange or now blue portal where white goop has landed. How are you doing all this? I genuinely can't even see what I'm supposed to do. Like what? How are you even? How? Oh god. I still need the other portal under the blue goop. I don't understand. What color do I want on the ceiling? Blue or not blue? Or I don't know why I would want anything on that ceiling, because I need to go up there, surely, no? Am I just totally misunderstanding what I even need to do here? White on the ceiling? Yeah, but you said put my blue port on the blue goop, which I did do. Oh, right. Blue portal under white goop. And then I want blue on the ground. Like that? Okay. So I have white on the ceiling, blue on the ground, and I still don't know why I have either of those things there. So this is going great. I'm assuming if I do that whole yump thing again, then I'm gonna do boing and then boing up. Okay, yeah. That's crazy. I would never be able to do this. I think this game has totally changed. Like, I went from kinda knowing what I was doing to like, I have no idea. Okay, boing, and then boing. Okay. There's absolutely no way I would have got that on my own. Let me out of here, man. Thanks, Doug. Can I ask how much longer I have left to go of this game? Not that I'm like anticipating the end, but I really thought I was going to finish it today. And now I'm not so sure. I don't even know which way I came from. Up. I go up. Ooh. Yep. Okay, that did it. That did the job. Okay. 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 And I still can't see where it wants me. This way up. Oh. Wait, what? Oh my god, I'm dumb. An hour? Okay. In that case, we might be okay. How the hell am I supposed to... Guess I need it to be on... I don't know. Honestly. My brain just is not working today, man, at all. I'm so tired. Like, I can't think. I can't think. Blue, 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 blue. How come I can't, like... portal there? I don't know why I can't. Oh, didn't see that wall. Okay, well. In that case. I just kind of want to see what's up there if I can. Uh-oh. I didn't remember, but I checked a Let's Play and thought we were closer than an hour. So less than an hour? This does not look like where I need to go. You don't remember? I just feel like it's too long now. Like, I wish it ended a bit earlier than this. Like, I just feel like now I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like, we use the goo. We go places. It feels like a long time since they introduced the blue goo. Oh, you thought we were close to the end, but you forgot some. That always happens, I think, with these games. It always feels like a lot shorter when you remember it, and then you're like, actually, this stuff still needs to happen. So we've basically covered the entire wall, so don't really know what else I could do to get through here. It's one game that I feel could have ended several stages before it does. It's kind of a shame because I really liked the cadence and the length of the first portal. And honestly, up until like maybe last stream, I felt like the game flowed really nicely. Now I'm just like kind of, wow, this needs to this needs to end soon. Don't know if it's because I'm tired or whatnot, but dude, I don't know what to do. It makes it less fun when I don't really know what to do. This definitely isn't what I was supposed to do, was it? What is going on with gravity? What the hell is going on with gravity? How have I just walked? How have I just done that? I feel like if it clicks for you, it's a good length, but if you've trouble with, but yeah, I can't. What is going on? Was I like not upside down or something? I'm so confused. That's weird. Ugh. That doesn't look like a normal incline. That looks like I would slide right down there. Oh god, this is making me feel weird. Oh, strange. Oh Jesus Christ. Hello? That was very odd. Okay, I don't know where I am. Hello? It's getting a wee bit scary now. Yeah, it was a bit very... I was like, what the fuck? Don't know if I'm looking up or down. What? Where I want to go up there? Boing. Can I even leave here? I don't think I can even go through any of these doors. Oh, over there. But I don't know how to get over there. I never fucking know how to get over. Oh Jesus, that didn't really work. Where the hell did I... Was I really off? Guess I could try again. How did I even get up there? I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay, I went like there. And then I want to go like here. Maybe I was too off. I don't know. Man, that looks like right. Looks like the right thing to do. I just don't think I'm doing it right. There's no gel in this room, so... Oh shit. Maybe I need to jump. Just give myself like a wee boost. Huh? Oh shit, I forgot to place the thing. I forgot to place it. How? How? How am I not making that? Maybe I have to be higher somehow, but I don't know how I could get any higher than where I was. Okay, I'm up pretty high. Maybe can I go from no. No. I literally don't see any other place that I could jump from that would get me in there. That has to be the way. Boop. Like that. Any ideas, chat? Don't know how that's not working. Me confused? Because there's no gel? I don't think so anyway, unless maybe I missed something down there that I'm supposed to press a button. Can I shoot through the door? No. It's not portalable walls in there. Definitely supposed to jump there. I thought I was doing it right. Maybe I'm just not doing it very well. Maybe I'm not like... Oh shit. Well, that certainly wasn't how you do it. You see a portal surface on the wall opposite the door? What, this one? Or you mean in there? To the right? I don't know what, where? Hi Eric, welcome! How are you doing? Go through my portal? Oh my god, sorry, what the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, go through my portal. I'm going through my portal. Uh-oh. You want to see what's below? Nothing. Nothing really. Nothing I can portal to, it looks like. Unless I'm supposed to like climb the pipes. I don't know. You don't know if I... You know, I don't... Definitely can't. Yeah, I can. It looks like that would be enough, doesn't it? It looks like that would be enough gravity, but seems to not be the case. Excuse me. Alright. Let's go again. Yeah, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I don't know. Maybe I just need to get a bit more oomph or get the right position. Oh, shit. I forgot. Keep forgetting to put my portal up there. I think I'm just really off. I think I need to just position the portal better. I think I'm just off. Oops. Dude, I can't even think right now. I can't even fucking think about what I'm doing. Oh. Okay, so I guess like as high as possible? Like there maybe? Okay. I was just being dumb. What poster? This one?
Paradoxes. No AI can resist thinking about them.
Oh shit.
I know how we can beat him.
In the event of rogue AI. Oh god. Why did it get dark? Hello? Oh shit. Oh, we're connecting the dots. We're connecting the gel dots. What happens now? Uh-oh. Oh, I thought that was literally collapsing. It's not. Okay. Is that a nice little bridge for me? Cute. Where's it going? Wait for me. Nice. Okay, I just go back down there? I love that there's no gravity damage, because I would be so dead. Okay, I'm going up. Take me up. Whee!
If you can get me in front of him, I'll fry every circuit in that little idiot's head. As long as I don't listen to what I'm saying, I should be okay.
GLaDOS is trying to rebel, I feel like.
Probably.
Yeah, the portal placement was a wee bit off there. I felt like it was a wee bit off, but it could just be me. Oh god, okay. I guess we might have made it back to the top, guys. I guess we might be going back to Wheatley. If we've made it back to the top, thank god.
So it's not the most watertight plan to go confront an omnipotent power mad AI with.
Okay.
Still, it's a better plan than exploding. Marginally.
Yay, we're back up, chat. We're back up to the lab. Thank god. Thank god. Thank god for that. It was starting to get a bit tedious down there, I'm not gonna lie. Chapter 8, The Itch. I'm getting the itch to be done with the game, honestly.
For God's sake, your boxes with legs. It's literally your only purpose. Walking onto them. How can you not do the one thing you're designed for?
Get us down there.
They've got leggies?
Warmer, warmer, boiling hot. Okay, colder, ice cold. You're Arctic now. You're very cold.
He's
very,
making
very, very
them.
cold. Look, just get on the button.
He's making them have legs.
Oh, that's funny, is it? Oh, it's funny because we've been in this for 12 hours and you haven't solved it either. So I don't know why you're laughing.
Oh,
You've got 1 hour.
I feel
Solve
bad. Leggy boys, let me in. Where's the wall that I can portal from? Bro. Oh, literally right there. Can't wait for the 100% runs. Wait, what? Did I just go backwards? I'm so confused. Huh? How did I get here? Isn't that just where I came from? Bye, Eric. Have an awesome rest of your day. I hope work goes well. Thank you for being here. Okay, that obviously was the right way to go, I think. Man, he's bullying my portal blocks. He's bullying my cubes. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that at all. Bloop. Hello, friends.
Solve this puzzle for him. When he comes back, I'll hit him with a paradox.
You're asking me to solve a puzzle?
Ah, yes. I knew you'd solve it.
Hey, moron.
Oh. Hello?
Paradox time. This sentence is false.
True. I'll go true. Yeah, that was easy. I'll be honest, I might have heard that one before. Sort of cheating.
It's a paradox. There is no answer. Look, this place is going to blow up if I don't get back to my mind.
False. I'll go false.
Explosion imminent.
Oh, shit!
I thought I'd fix that.
Oh, shit.
Reactor core is at critical.
Oh, the paradox is done.
Hey,
Fucked us up.
It's great seeing you guys again. Seriously. It turns out I'm a little bit short on test subjects right
You
now. So
dickhead.
this works out perfect. And off we go.
Okay, where are we going exactly? I don't want to go into another fucking
You have no idea what it's
chamber.
like in this body. I have to test all the time, or I get this itch. You know, it must be hardwired into the system or
Not
something.
the itch.
Oh,
You should
well,
go to the
I'll tell
doctor
you, when
about that
I do
one.
Test, oh man alive, nothing feels better. It's just, I've got to test.
He's on
I've gotta
drugs.
test.
He's on robot drugs,
So
chat.
you're gonna test, and I'm gonna watch, and everything is gonna be just.
I don't believe you.
Nuclear meltdown imminent.
I think we're in trouble.
Just ignore the nuclear meltdown. I think everything else is going to be totally
Designed this
fine.
test myself.
Test?
It's a little bit difficult. You'll note it.
Oh my god, so hard.
Yes. Oh, well done. Oh, that's tremendous.
Wait, but how do I get over there? Oh, I'm so dumb. Not even me can
Yeah,
beat
you're not done
this
yet, are you? Still got to get through the door.
without needing help.
Oh, that felt really good. Oh, here's an idea. Since making tests is so difficult, why don't you just keep solving this test?
No
Say
thanks.
what? And I can just like watch you solve it. Yeah, that's
Bro
much easier.
is addicted to the power that comes with being. What? I mean, but oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the door. Man, I'm not built for this.
Here we go. Now, do it again.
I'm not built for this, chat.
And nothing. Alright, can't blame you for trying. Okay, new tests. Gotta be some tests around
Do the same
somewhere.
test
Oh, here we
twice.
go.
I just got a trophy for that. I hope all of his puzzles are as easy as that one was. GLaDOS has been awfully quiet though, I'm feeling like. I feel like she's proper silent. Like, she's been all talk. She's definitely been all talk up until this point. My brain is definitely getting slightly smushy. My brain was smushy to begin with today, honestly.
It shouldn't be hard to stay alive long enough to find him.
Well, there's a nuclear meltdown imminent. You don't have to say it like that.
It's alright, everything's good. I just invented some more tests.
Yay!
Not entirely. Look at the word test there on the wall.
Whee!
That's brand new.
Oh, I like this. This is cool. Whee! Did I make it? Oh, I need to somehow get up there. Yoink. How do I get this guy? How do I get this guy? Ooh, it makes the portal go somewhere else. That's interesting. Ah. I like this. But also the fact they're introducing something new. Oh, that's cool. It takes me through to the other side. Having a new concept this late is kind of crazy though. Oh, I'm dumb. I couldn't just have waited. I couldn't just have waited patiently. Cool. Honestly, big brain to everyone who made this game, honestly. I don't know where this goes. Where do I put it? Where'd it go? I don't know where the block goes. Unless maybe I'm not even supposed to do... What? Well, I can't go back down. Unless I shoot it back down, but it doesn't look like that's where I'm supposed to go. Through there? No. Bruh. What do I do? Am I being so dumb right now? I don't see where this block goes. What the hell do I do? I literally don't know where this goes. Back down? I honestly don't fucking know. I don't see anywhere for it to go. I'll go back down. Maybe there's a block for it somewhere. No? Okay, well, I have nothing. I have nothing because I don't know where this goes. I literally have no idea. My poor block's like stuck. Gimme. Any ideas, chat? I don't fucking know. I'm kind of over it, to be honest. I'm kind of over it. I don't really like this anymore. It's too long. And I can't think. Why can't I figure out where this goes? I almost had it. I don't see this. I literally don't see what I'm supposed to do. I don't see where the block goes. Does it go on the first floor? I can't see anywhere for it. Like, what? I see absolutely nowhere this is supposed to go. I genuinely don't know. Oh my god, I didn't see that the entire time. I literally didn't see that. Oh my god. I don't think I seen that once. Okay, how do I get my block back? Give me my block back. I don't think I can get it back. Gimme! Alright, okay, I see. This is... If I could see where the bloody block went, it would have been half as... It would have been half as hard as that.
Oh, wow. Well done. Seriously, both of you. Why don't you two go on ahead, yeah? I'll catch up with you.
I didn't see the red dot, so I did not know where that was supposed to go. Okay.
Okay, so the bad news is the tests are my tests now, so they can kill us.
Great, well, thanks for that, GLaDOS.
So far, to be honest. I'll get back to you.
No good news. I wasn't really expecting any good news, to be honest. I wasn't expecting any good news. So yeah,
To help you solve the test.
go. I didn't see the red button, so I didn't know where I was trying to go. This is why I think I'm having a bit of a problem with the latter half of the game. So the first half of the game, I could easily see what the solution was, or no, I could easily see what the end goal was, so I could then figure out the solution with the tools available to me. But it seems like for the second half of this game, I can't actually see the problem. Like, I can't see what I'm trying to do, like where my end goal is, which is why I can't then figure out how to get there. Like, if I'd seen that red button, I would have clearly known that that's where the block went, but I couldn't see it. And then before that, with all the different colored goos, I couldn't really ever work out where I was trying to go, so I think that's why it's making it a bit harder.
Yeah, made this test myself out of smaller tests that I found lying around. Jammed them all together. Buttons, got funnels, bottomless pits are involved. It's got it all. It's got it all. Absolute dynamite.
Oh. Okay, pay attention. Pay attention to which one I'm changing. The good news is, then you'll be a puddle of radioactive goop that feels nothing. Maybe they'll make me into the goop.
Smaller tests that I found lying
Maybe
around.
they'll make me
Jammed them all
into the goop.
together. Buttons, got funnels, bottomless pits are involved. It's got it all. It's got it all. Absolute dynamite.
Dude! Oh, I keep pressing the wrong fucking portal. Okay, blue portal, not orange portal, man. Blue portal, blue portal, blue portal.
Smaller tests that I found lying around.
No one
Jammed them all
cares,
together.
Wheatley.
Buttons, got funnels, bottomless pits are involved. It's got it all. It's got it all. Absolute dynamite.
But why? I'm gonna have to wait for a certain part.
Smaller tests that I found lying around. Jammed them all together. Buttons, got funnels, bottomless pits are involved. It's got it all. It's got it all. Absolute dynamite.
But I'm gonna be too far away from it now, though. No. That doesn't seem right. Okay, I'm like... I can't reach it. Okay, did that work?
Alright, okay, this is taking too long, okay? I'll just tell you.
I'm
how to solve
doing
the test,
it!
okay? See that button over there, alright? We just need...
Uh-oh.
Why I can't help you solve
Oh, GLaDOS! Let's go!
Never mind. Never mind, solve it yourself. You're on your own.
Where does the cube come out? Oh. My cube! Bring my cube to me! Wait, what? Wait, where is that gonna go then? Ah. Gimme! Okay. Now what? Okay, we need this. Please.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Well done.
Thanks. All we had to do was pull that lever.
What?
What lever? Wrong lever!
A lot of trouble and probably about to die, but that was worth it.
She's so sadistic, but I kind of like it because it's helping me. It's helping me win. Whew. I'm not making it to the end.
Some good news. He's going to run out of test chambers eventually. I never stockpiled them.
Thank God.
Coming, don't start yet.
Surely I don't have
You're
another
not gonna believe
19
this.
to
I found
do.
a sealed off wing. Hundreds of perfectly good test chambers just sitting there, filled with skeletons. Shook them out.
She
Easy.
lied.
Skeletons. Right. I guess I did stockpile
Yeah, you
some
did.
tests.
Hi, Sleeping Forest. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Oh, crap.
Just as mementos, though.
Okay.
And there we go.
Well,
Be honest, you can't even
that's
tell,
fucked
can you?
up.
Seamless.
Oh, you can definitely tell. Okay. Well, what the fuck? Am I supposed to go back or no? Okay. Well, we have one thing here, so let's see. How am I gonna get over there though? Okay. Yeet! I go get my block. What do we think of the big mega portals? Do we like them? Oh. Wait, where did that come from? mean, that's not gonna work, is it? Because... Wait. Huh? Bonk time. Here we go. You can't see me, but I'm doing it. Maybe I need to get a bonk emote for my ping tuber. The bird! Yeah, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get that back over there. Okay, that kind of worked. But I kind of need it to be going the other way. Is there a way to do that? I guess not. The peen tuber bonk. Honestly, how the fuck? Because... I wish I could change the direction, but I don't think I can. Doesn't look like there's any way through. Can I like move forward? No, I literally can't move forward. But now that I'm in here, can I just like go somewhere? I don't know. I don't know. Stop trying to attack me. I'm trying to save your ass. I don't know. I don't know how to get over there. I don't know how to get... Fuck off! I don't know how to get back. Damn, I shouldn't have done that. Bruh. Look left. Oh my god, I didn't even I can't see shit in this game. Okay, well that fucking didn't help. Obviously, I need to submit the things. My brains, I can't play this game anymore, guys. I literally feel like I have 2 brain cells right now. Like, playing this on a Friday after an entire week of work is not a good... It's not the one. It's really not the one. Okay, give me that fucking thing. And then what do I do? Well, I don't know what that thing does. 1 more brain cell than me. We can share the brain cell. That isn't gonna do anything because I can't get through. I can't portal it, so... I mean, maybe it changes the direction or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to portal through it. Maybe I'm supposed to do that. Okay, let's try. Because surely if I bounce over there, I'm going to end up in there. Okay. And then... Okay. Oh shit, I don't know. Okay, yeah, okay. That was just a test. I think I know. I'm gonna have to time this really well. I think I'm gonna have to time this really well. Because if I can't do 2 portals in one stream, or it makes me fall. It makes me fall down. didn't mean to press the orange one. Okay. Okay, give me that. And then we're gonna do blue. Wait, that may be a bit high. Okay, blue. Oh shit. Damn! Oh my god. Oh, this is actually infuriating. This is actually not fun anymore. Oh my god. Oh. I have to be like right there? That's not even gonna work. Okay, block. And then do... No, wrong button. Press that, do that. That doesn't look right. How did I even do that? How did I do that last time? Where did my block go? That still isn't gonna work. Bruh, I give up. Honestly give up. Oh, I'm too tired for this. I don't get how I'm supposed to get back over there. Oh, yeah, I'm calling it. I'm not even enjoying this anymore. I'm too tired, man.